Hello, Miss Steele here. So we are talking about shapes and lines this week. For this project, we are going to focus on shapes. We're going to be making our own shape creatures. Here's mine. You can see his little feet and his arms. So what we're going to be adding is some eyes and a mouth and then other details if you want to add them. So I'm going to set this aside. For this project, you're going to want some pieces of colored paper. If you don't have any colored paper, that's okay. You can just color on white paper or use white paper. So I have a bigger piece of blue because I'm going to have this be the body of my shape creature. And then I have some colored paper so I can cut out some details. So I have some just extra pieces of paper I found around. My blue paper. You're going to want a pencil and an eraser, definitely our art tool basics, some glue, scissors, and something to color with to add some details. I have markers and I have some crowns, but you can use what you have. So I'm going to set this aside because we want to start with our body. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut out a big body for our shape creature, and we want it to be geometric. And then we're going to add a design using organic shapes. So I did a square for this. You can pick any geometric shape you want. I did a square. I think for this one that I'm making, I think I'm going to do a circle. So I'm going to use my bigger piece of paper and I'm going to draw a really big circle because the bigger the body is, the more I'll have to work with. So I'm going to draw a circle for the body of mine, just like that. So now I'm going to cut it out, and then I can also use this extra blue paper for other projects, or even for this if I wanted to. So I'm going to set my extra blue paper aside, because maybe I'll make some feet and hands with that. So just like that, I have a really big circle, and I'm cutting off anything that looks like it isn't as smooth as I want it to be. So now we have our body, and we wanted it to be a geometric shape. So that means that it could be a rectangle, triangle, oval, square, circle. So now I want to decorate this using organic shapes. And organic shapes are really fun because they're almost like the inside of a lava lamp. They don't really have too many straight lines. They can kind of look like whatever. So I'm going to start adding on some organic shapes, and I'm going to color them in too because I think it looks a little nicer. I'm using markers, but you can use crowns or colored pencils or whatever you have. So I'm going to come over here and I just kind of draw a wibbly wobbly shape. I think organic shapes are really fun to draw because it's almost like a big sort of wavy lumpy line. Like that. So I'm going to keep adding to this and then we will move on to our next step. So I have decorated this using a bunch of organic shapes. So now we're going to start working on what we want our shape creature to look like. Like I said earlier, you at least want to add some eyes and a mouth. And you can make those eyes and a mouth in kind of whatever shape you want. Because I made this circular, I think I'm going to make my eyes squares. So sometimes whenever I'm wanting to cut two of something, I'll fold the paper in half, and then I'll draw what shape. I said I'm going to do my eyes as squares, so that's what I'm going to do. And then because it's folded, whenever I cut it, because it's folded, it'll cut out two at the same time that match, just like that. So now I have two eyeballs for my creature. And then I'm going to glue those down. If you remember, a dot is a lot. And we're going to try out a bunch of different shapes for this. So there is that. And then here is this one. And we're going to color on top, but I'm going to let those dry for a second. And now what we're going to move on to is our mouth. So for my mouth, I think I want to do a smile For a smile, what you're going to do is you're going to draw a half circle, so a curved line like that. I think I want my smile to be even bigger. I think I want it to be really big. So I'm going to draw a really big curved line like that and then cut it out. So it's almost like half of a circle. And then I'm going to glue that on here. I think I want to cut around my pencil line because I don't want that to show. Just like that. And maybe I want my mouth to be a little round on the sides. So you can kind of change up the shapes of things if you want. And now I'm going to add some glue on the back, some dots, because a dot is a lot. We don't want to make it too gluey because then it gets messy. And we're going to put that right underneath our eyes. I think I want to add some teeth in here, and I think I'm going to make them pink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this, and then I'm going to fold it so I can cut out a few teeth at once. And I think for my teeth, I'm going to have them be round. So I'm going to draw a U just like that, and then a line on top. And then I'm going to cut it out. And because it's folded while I'm cutting it, it's going to cut out more than one. And if you see whenever I'm cutting, a lot of times I'll move the paper and the scissors kind of stay in the same spot, and I just open and close them and move my paper. And so now I have some teeth for my shape monster. So I'm going to glue down my teeth, and then we can move on to our next step. I want to give him some eyebrows. So what I can do is maybe take some of my yellow paper, and I think I'm going to draw an organic shape for his eyebrows. So using this, and you don't have to add eyebrows. You can if you want though, or you could add eyelashes, kind of whatever you're in the mood for. And then I'm going to cut around this so I can get some eyebrows like that. And then I can glue them kind of towards the inside if I want to make him look like he's almost like a little more intense. I can glue them up a little bit and make him look a little more surprised. I can glue them to the side right there and make him look a little more like he's like thinking about something. So I'm going to glue those down, and then we can go back and we can add in shapes for his eyes, or we could even draw in his eyes. I think I'm going to add them right here to the side like I was talking about. So using a few dots or a thin line of glue, because we don't want to make a glue mess. And then it takes longer to dry too if we use a lot of glue. So just like that. I think I'm going to go back and grab my markers, and I'm going to add inside of the eyes. And I think I'm going to do purple on the outside and then black on the inside. So we have some eyebrows and some eyes and a mouth. If you wanted to add a nose or other details, you could definitely do that as well. And then a little black circle on the inside like that. Oh, he's looking happy. You can always go back and even color in these shapes that you cut out, but I think I'm going to leave them as is. And I kind of want him to have some arms and maybe some legs. So I'm going to grab my black piece of paper, fold it, and then I did straight legs for this one. But I think I'm going to do kind of a crazier line. I think I want to do a wavy line. So on my black piece of paper, I'm drawing a wavy line for me to cut out. Like that. And so then I can cut it out. And then I'm going to use these for his arms and legs. Or her. I guess it's not really a him or a her. It's just a shaped creature. So now I have two long ones. I'm going to cut them in half so I can have 4. And now I'm going to go through and add on the arms. I'm going to flip it over to glue on my arms and legs, so they look like they're almost coming from behind. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I can flip it back, and there we go. You can add on arms and legs if you want. I think I'm going to go back to my blue paper, and I think I'm going to cut out some circles and some squares. Now maybe just some circles. And I'm going to put that at the end of this. Just like that, so it can look like little hands almost. It almost looks like the world really doing a circle with all those organic shapes on top. So I'm going to get these glued onto the ends of these, and then we will be finished. Got all those circles glued onto the end, all those wavy lines, and just like that, we have our very own shape creature. Here's the one that I showed you at the beginning of the video, and here's the one I just made. I can't wait to see what shapes you choose to use, what colors you use, and all of that fun stuff. I will see you all next time. Have a wonderful rest of your morning, your evening, your afternoon. Bye.